All right, Cowboys win because Cowboys lose because I have mine. You guys let me know if there's somebody who wants to go first. If not, I'm going to fire off on these things.
You got it, Captain.
Cowboys win because the big
Johnny
money
Manziel?
men.
Oh.
Yeah, Manziel.
Dak Prescott.
The big money men go to work.
Ooh.
This is the week. We didn't get it in week 1 because it was a wonky game. It started off decent in the first half, but you had CeeDee drops. You had Dak's misses in the second half. You didn't have the best versions of them for an entire game. Assuming that this is a fairly competitive game, which I think it can be and will be most likely, at least into the mid to late third, early fourth quarter, this will be the day against a good defense where CeeDee gets 12 to 15 targets, 9 or 10, 11 catches, 150 yards, scores once or twice. This is going to be the big money men show up. Cowboys win because.
And I think CeeDee has a chance. Well, I think he's going to do his thing anyway. But there's an issue with the best cornerback for the Saints. He's not practiced the past couple of days.
Lattimore,
it's one thing when you have a leg injury or whatever else. You're a cornerback. That would be huge if he doesn't play, or if he's limited. He also does not go in. As CeeDee yesterday, he does not go in the slot. Yeah. So CeeDee still makes his money in the slot.
And Marshawn Lattimore can come get some if he wants some.
But he doesn't go in. CeeDee says he'll travel in the slot anyway.
Yeah. Cowboys lose because big plays, big plays, big plays. The Saints had a big time. I think Rashid Shaheed averaged 20 yards per punt return. He's obviously one of the best returners in the game. He had a 59-yard touchdown catch, I believe, in week 1. Yep. He's an absolute burner, and he ain't their best receiver. Chris Olave is, and he can go to, and he did not have a big day in week 1. So Alvin Kamara is a big play threat at running back. The return game, the receiving game, the running game, they got threats to hang 7 points on you in one play, 14 on you in 2, 21 on you in 3. Right. If the Cowboys can't contain the big plays and make them earn each drive, that would be the reason that the Cowboys lose
and the
this
punter
game.
kicked too many down the middle against Cleveland. He has to angle those. That's why you're talking about the returner. He has to do a better job angling his punts. He's been a good punter.
Anger's got to angle.
Anger cannot kick him down the middle.
Who's up?
I can go. The Cowboys will win if Mike Zimmer, if Eric Kendricks, if these guys can communicate against Clint Kubiak's motion. The Saints, 88% of their pass plays had motion on them, which means they're going to do a lot of motion, a lot of eye candy, a lot of misdirection, a lot of play action. Obviously, Clint Kubiak went to the San Francisco 49ers School of Motion and Offense, and yes, he's got familiarity with Mike Zimmer, but you talk to a lot of Cowboys guys this week, they say that looks a lot like San Francisco film, not Minnesota 2001.
And the Cowboys didn't do... They tend to be kind of middle of the road with the pre-snap stuff, motion at the snap, pre-snap.
Kind of struggled last year,
and
but
I heard my buddy Bobby Belt on the Fan this morning. He just looked at the week 1 numbers, and this is one of those things where I hope it's because the Cowboys in the second half were like, we think we've got this. The Cowboys are one of the teams that were in the bottom of the league in week 1 and how often they're moving guys around before the snap or at the snap. The teams who are the bottom 10 at that in week 1 went 2-8.
yeah.
The Cowboys were one of the winners. The teams that did the most motion in week 1, 7-3. Good teams now do that. You want to move around before the snap.
It's a must-stop. It's become an essential part of offense in the NFL. And the Cowboys will lose if they struggle on third down. The Saints defense last year had the number 1 third down defense. They were also really good last week against Carolina. Teron Matthew is an absolute stud. I think if the Cowboys can have success on third down, they can keep the offense going. They can generate drives, get more carries going. I think they win this. Or if they don't do that, they will lose.
Hit us up with your Cowboys win because, Cowboys lose because in the chat. I demand it. If you don't, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm real simple. It's basic for me. Stop the run. Stop the run. You can talk about the exotic and eye candy. The thing that the Cowboys, we've been talking all off season, was run defense. Stop the run. That's why Mozzie needs to be better. That's why you brought Joseph in here. The Saints rushed for 180 yards last week. Alvin Kamara is still Alvin Kamara. You stop the run, you will harass Carr into turning the ball over because he will get the ball to you. And you will have a chance to get to the quarterback. You have to stop the run first, as they've been saying for years. Earn the right to rush the quarterback because the Cowboys, at least week 1, rushed the quarterback like nobody's business. They had more pressures than anybody in the league, and it wasn't even close. I think it was Cowboys had 40 pressures. The next best team had 29.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close. Yeah. So they could get after the quarterback, but to do that, you have to stop the run. So Mozzie, big boy up. Linval Joseph, big boy up. Stop the run. They have a chance to win for sure.
So you're saying Cowboys win because they stop the run, Cowboys lose because they don't stop the run?
Yeah.
It's really
I
that
think it's
simple.
simple, yeah.
It's let's be honest about it. Don't stop the run and don't turn the ball over. The Cowboys lose, they turn the ball over.
Cowboys win because Ferg has a DeMarcus Ware return to action. I was on that football team when DeMarcus Ware was carted off the football field. You thought his season was done. The very next week, Cowboys went down to New Orleans. They were like 9-0 or 10-0 that time. DeMarcus Ware miraculously recovered in that week, went out there and played, had a sack to end that football game on Drew Brees, ended that winning streak for the New Orleans Saints that year. So Ferg comes back from what we initially thought may have been a season-ending injury, comes out and makes some huge plays for the Cowboys to win this football game. Cowboys lose if, and this comes from the guy who took your job. No, I'm just playing.
Took his job.
No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Nick Harris.
Oh,
this was a great stat.
This was a great stat from Nick Harris.
stat.
Heading into the Cowboys lose because heading into this game, the Cowboys have lost 23 consecutive contests when they've scored less than 20 points.
Oh.
They are 0-23.
score some points.
The last such win was a 13-10 victory over who? The New Orleans Saints.
Correct.
At AT&T Stadium. So if the Cowboys lose, if they don't score more than 20 points.
Unless they play the Saints.
Unless they play the Saints.
At
they play
AT&T
the Saints.
Stadium.
I mean,
You just
sounds like they win no matter what.
your own stat down.
I'm just saying, that's the last time they had a
But
win.
the Cowboys, this team scores points. One thing they've done, certainly under Mike McCarthy, score points. It's funny. I'm glad you brought that the Marcus Ware thing up. I was just thinking, as my mind wanders when you were talking, how many?
See, you wouldn't even listen.
How many?
No, you wouldn't.
How many moments have we had here watching the Cowboys when guys were dead on the field? They came back and played. You got the Witten,
Romo Witten.
Romo Witten,
Right, yeah.
Demarcus Marcus Ware.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. You have those things that remember. I go back to Emmitt Smith. Against the Giants way back when he had the injury and the shoulder. One shoulder lead them into to division title. But yeah, the Romo Witten. I mean, guys, you should not play with these injuries.
Yeah.
Unless you
know?
want to.
Yeah, unless you want to.
Unless you want to.
You should not play with these.
Because we're trying to
But
win.
they've been so inspirational, with the Witten.
Yeah.
Having this, whatever he had, he go up and Jerry finds him a doctor that gives him the okay to play with the Giants.
Yeah, he went and found a different doctor. Oh, he wasn't cleared. Hey, fly to that one. I bet they say something
I
different.
know a guy.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
That's great. So he would lose this consecutive game streak. You know what that was about.
Oh, we got a super chat from Aaron there. He said, I think it's different because of Zimmer. I think they'll win because the defense will not depend on if they are leading or not. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
That Quentin defense, you get ahead, sweet, because we're just coming for your quarterback anyway. So it works out a lot better if we got a lead. If we don't, that's not as much fun.